listen to this tour of gunpowder.
I'm Bryant, along with Steph. We're the Wandering Buckeyes. In this episode, we're going to visit our 14th National Park. Instead of exploring the typical mountains, canyons, and beaches, this time we're headed underground to explore Mammoth Cave National Park in Mammoth Cave, Kentucky. So let's get to it. Stephen Ting Mather served as the first director of the National Park System from 1917 to 1929 and was integral to the National Park System that expanded its domain into new areas that included Mammoth Cave we're visiting today. Outside, we see a kiosk that updates visitors on what is going on there to see the times and remaining tickets for today's tours. We visited here during the off-season and it was easy to score a tour. But do plan ahead during peak seasons as you could experience sold-out tours. Buying online during those times is ideal. Since the park was just about to open, we were able to experience the flag raising. It's a great start to our 14th National Park here at Mammoth Cave. Inside, straight ahead, is information, and to our left are the ticket counters. We'll head first to the gift shop for our official stamp to our National Parks passport book. Steph's finding her perfect stamp for Mammoth Caves here at Mammoth National Park.
Okay.
Number 14.
Hello.
Let me hold it down.
I think that's the right one, right? Yeah. Oh, I didn't get a very good one.
Inside the visitor center, we walk along the exhibit area to learn more about Mammoth Cave before we go underground. There are miles of surveyed passages within this national park, making it the longest cave in the world at 426 miles. It's twice as long as the second longest cave found in Mexico. In the yellow portions here on this large wall map, it illustrates those miles of passages where the deepest lies just under 400 feet below the surface. This view from above the cave system consists of rolling hills and river valleys with over 80 miles of hiking trails and overlooks. The clocks throughout the exhibits keep you on pace for your tour start time so you don't miss it. This exhibit I found the most fascinating. It was a cutaway view of the cavern system. In caves can be found over 160 species of animals which have adapted to total darkness, like the blind fish we see here, and the translucent crayfish. We stopped here for a short movie on the cave and its inhabitants.
These accomplished cavers cover nearly 14 miles of cave.
While the exhibit says the cave was discovered in 1802, indigenous people used these caves thousands of years earlier. We always tour the exhibits, reading the online resources before launching into any national park to ensure we gain the most of our time spent, be it short or long.
For these organisms is not for everybody, as you can imagine. First of all, the water is very cold and the water is dark. When I find an organism in the water, I take a quick measurement and shout out the species code to a field assistant. We can find eyeless fish, eyeless crayfish. There are also lots of tiny crustaceans such as amphipods and isopods. And in the case of Mammoth Cave National Park, a unique creature, the Kentucky cave shrimp, which is a federally listed endangered species. We're mandated to monitor the population of Kentucky cave shrimp, but it's not being run at all. Cave rivers are big and broad.
Cave exploration is not without peril.
Francis Johnston, a pioneer photographer, captured these 25 images in total darkness using flash powder in 1891, found in her article called Mammoth Cave by Flashlight. Well, it's time now to head to our tour, but a first glimpse outside of the walls of what we might see underground. Today, we're going to cover less than 1 mile of this expansive cave system Mammoth has to offer with a tour of the better-known Mammoth Passage. Got our tickets for Mammoth Cave, so we're going to go into the Mammoth Passage, so sort of their hallmark or their keystone tour. This is where we got our tickets. And the cave departures start over there in the corner. Outside, there are 2 shelter areas, Shelter A and B. Our tour begins at Shelter A. In the distance, across the bridge, is the Park Lodge. It's complete with places to grab snacks and dinner, coffee, shopping, book a room or cabin if you're staying in the park. From the National Parks map, we can see there are also campgrounds with a camp store nearby, and over 80 plus miles of hiking trails. An interesting fact about this visitor center includes being a gold-level LEED certified facility, whose features include solar panels on roof that provides 10% of the power, and the rainwater is harvested on the roof as well to use to flush the toilets. So we're ready for our tour. We're going to be doing Mammoth Passage right here. A little over an hour, 3/4 of a mile, 125 stairs. And they even have our beloved bats. Steph says she's going to love the bats.
Oh my goodness. I'm not a fan of caves.
Yeah, but we're going in the biggest cave, so...
I'm going out of my box here.
Or going out of your cave.
So, it is a nice day for it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what the weather is. The weather's always
a good
50,
day,
55 and dark inside.
Right.
I think they turn the lights off in there just to kind of give you the feel of how dark it is. It's pretty neat.
We'll see.
Bring yourselves into. This tour is 3/4 of a mile long, 140 stairs. We're going to be climbing down and back up the equivalent of about a 16-story building today. And we're going to get to see a room large enough to fit that whole visitor center inside of it. What we are not going to get to see today, due to the dry nature of Mammoth Cave, is that we will not get to see any stalactites, stalagmites, columns, drapers, or flowsets. You guys did know all that stuff, right? Alright, you just wanted to make sure. I don't want anyone to be disappointed, but what we are going to see down there is pretty spectacular. So if all that sounds good and you think this is the tour for you, perfect. If upon hearing that you realize this is not the tour for you, at this point you can still head back inside and get a full refund. But if you guys have your tickets and you're ready to go, follow us on down the hill.
After the ranger introductions, we're off to the caves.
I had a little reminder on my phone. I was trying. But yeah, we're going to head down there in just a moment. I have been down there during tornado warnings. Yeah. I have been down there when circulation, would go over, when rotation has gone over the park. Thankfully, nothing has touched down. We're down there, and we get phone calls to say, hey, don't come up. Yeah. Wait in the cave. We'll give you a call. And then we hang out.
You good?
Mm-hmm. That's the beautiful bird.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm from Nashville for about 5 years now, and I've never going that an hour away. So. Yeah,
Well, I'm glad you came up.
appreciate it.
This passage, called Halcyon's Narrows, will be the lowest we'll experience. And for those fearful of close quarters, try this one first. It might surprise you how massive it really is. The rotunda is the first large room and most iconic inside the historic entrance. During the War of 1812, it served as a major site for saltpeter mining used in making gunpowder. And below are the artifacts remains of the saltpeter vats. This room is about a quarter acre in size, sits 140 feet below the surface with a ceiling height of 40 feet. There are caves within this park that can present some close quarters, but for this tour, it felt very roomy. While the temperatures do vary in these caves, they always hover around 54 degrees. Yes, it does it much better. Our guide began by offering insight into use of torches that what guides once used during the early exploring and tours years ago.
1920s design has this, ring of wire here. That was to make sure this thing didn't slip back and hit your hand.
These cane-like torches had a wick on the end. They'd soak them in fuel and launch them onto a nearby ledge up high to offer better lighting for tours.
To make sure it was good and on fire, twirl around a second time to make sure it stayed on fire, twirl around a third time, because it looks really cool. And then you would rear back, and you would launch it down a passageway up onto a ledge, maybe throw off 2 or more, 3 more, and light up the room. Now, I have told this story, and at this point, people look at me like I am crazy. Because can you imagine throwing fire in a cave? There's literally no other cave that ever did something like this. But to you doubters, how did all that soot get up there? They threw thousands of torches up onto these ledges. Some of them barely made it onto these tiny ones. I have no idea what they were aiming for up there.
But there's really nothing to burn.
Exactly. There's nothing to burn down here. And so we kept doing it.
This is the Rafkiness Hall. It's a very large chamber, and these videos do it no justice on the scale of these chamber rooms. One must truly be here in person to appreciate their vastness.
We have been able to use a method called...
Gives you an idea of how large these caves are. There's staff walking down there. It's pretty tall. All the way up there's the top.
Actually, that is what made the water leak here. So, the Green River, it sets our water table. And the Green River was very content. It was very slowly carving down. That is the actual name. The big browns will actually get larger than that. That's probably a yearling. You can tell it's a big brown because it has a much darker, dark chocolate cover brown fur. Little browns are going to be smaller than that and have a little bit light.
As far as light level, here's a better view of how it actually appears without the camera enhancing the dim lighting. It's absolutely beautiful underneath. During the tour, the guide did extinguish all lights to demonstrate just how dark it becomes, and makes more logic why bats and other species here depend on senses like sound to navigate the caves.
Some bats, once they live in a cave long enough, they can actually fly through it, only chirping with echolocation and it's sort of like you walking down your hallway at night. You know you're not going to hit a wall from behind.
Heading back, we make our way towards the historic entrance. We were informed while inside that the white nose syndrome, a fungal disease, has been killing millions of hibernating bats in North America. While there's no known risk to humans, pets, or livestock, we have to make one stop as we exit to help reduce the spread to other areas as it can remain in our shoes.
Oh, beautiful out. Ooh, feel the heat.
We'll walk along these
Isn't that crazy?
squishy little pads that kind of cleanse our shoes up.
Gotta wash your feet off and they whiten.
We hope you enjoyed a brief look into Mammoth Cave National Park and that will encourage you to come see it in person. Again, we thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you in the next one.